guys, welcome to this monthly challenge. This monthly challenge I'm also posting on YouTube because it is actually a fun DIY of a dimensional cosmic moon phases canvas. And today, the day that I usually do the monthly challenge, which is the 1st, it is a new moon. It's actually a super moon, and so I thought that coincided quite well. But as I say, it's the 1st already. Look, it's the 1st. It's the 1st already, damn it. And I haven't been doing this video. I haven't been creating the canvas and editing it, and I've been busy having fun. I've been out having fun, guys, and I know you bellyettes aren't going to begrudge that, so this might be a little bit late, but the intention was for it to coincide with the 1st and the super moon. That might not happen, but it's still a really cool canvas. I've been wanting to do a moon phases piece of artwork for ages, so I thought that this was a really great time to do it. And also the suggestions in the monthly challenge group. The monthly challenge group, if you are unaware, is the group that I have on, it's a free group on my free art community journal workshops, which if you aren't a member of, you can join at any time. I'll post the link below, and go into the monthly challenge group, and every month on the 1st usually I post a new video from your guys' suggestions in the group, and we create artwork together and have an art date. People post their artwork so that we can see one another's creations from that month. So that's the monthly challenge group, and the suggestions in the group have been a lot about nature. So it's a combination of what I wanted to create and what was in the monthly challenge group. And I noticed the monthly challenge group is kind of waning a little bit in participation, and that's my fault because I've not been around very much. So I thought I would post this on YouTube because it is a step-by-step of a dimensional moon phases canvas. And if you just watch this, you can actually create a lot of things with the moon phases, like a garland or something like that. You can do loads of things with this challenge. You don't have to do a moon phases canvas if you don't want, but you can follow along exactly. But as with all of the monthly challenges, take it any way you want to. If you want to incorporate other elements from nature, the sun, the earth, anything on our earth that's natural, and you just want to explore in this monthly challenge, you can do that as well. Or you can go step by step and create your own moon phases canvas. That got a bit weird. So I'm going to reuse an old canvas here that I don't really like the background of, and I'm going to use mainly heavy body paints for this background. I'm using Liquitex. If you followed me for any length of time, you'll know Liquitex and Golden really are my two favourite acrylic brands, but I'm not really a snob when it comes to acrylics. I will use anything and everything that is around, but these are, if given a choice, my favourite brand. And the heavy body because I want texture in this background. So I'm going from pinks to reds to purples, then deep teals, a really nice peacocky type tealy colour. If you look down in the middle bottom of the canvas, when I start mixing the colours up, you'll see that although it doesn't really come up as well on camera, in real life it's really pretty. And then I'm going in kind of a starburst effect from the lighter colours out. You want to try and keep away from the pinks and the purples to the blues. You want to do them, you know, separately, because if you get a little bit of blue, as you'll see in the middle right that I'm going on now, I get a little bit of blue in that pink, and then it wants to take over. So just do it methodically. The brush strokes, as I say, I'm going all over the place in crosses and just giving it lots of texture, because although you'll look up at the sky and it'll look quite like it's flat from our perspective here, we know that it isn't. There's a lot going on in our galaxy, in our universe, so I want a nice variety and nice texture to the background. So I'm just going across the whole of it. Now I'm into the blues and just mixing up the blues. Not really bothered about what direction I'm going or where the colour's ending up or anything like that, allowing it to be quite organic, as long as I can keep the lighter colours sections, because I want to basically make them like their little, say galaxies or little stuff going on in the universe, their little pockets, and I'm going to concentrate on them when I come into doing the stars as well. Now I'm going in with a smaller brush and a little bit more of the lighter colours to fuse the colours a little bit more together, and blend them a little bit more with a little bit more of a detailed brush. Before I was using more of an oil paint type brush, more of a hog's hair bristly brush. Now I'm going to use a very sophisticated piece of kit, which is a cheap toothbrush, and you need an acrylic that's got quite a lot of flow to it, so I'm using the Fluid Acrylics by Golden here, but if you want to, you can use something like I've got an airbrush medium. I'm trying to think of the other thing that makes your acrylics flow better, but I can't think of it by now, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Put it in the comments below if you guys know. And as I'm doing the splatters, which are going to be stars, which I'm going to cover the whole of it, you want to, although the background's kind of cute, you want to really cover it so that it becomes really in the background. And I'm going to concentrate the stars on the lighter pockets, because that to me is where the life is. That's where, you know, all of the clusters will be. So I'm concentrating on those three lighter areas that I've got, and then also a couple of other little really heavily sectioned constellationally areas on the canvas as well, just to make it a little bit more like what it looks like in the sky if we really take a zoom out. Adding some silver into the mix just to give it a little bit of different texture going on, a little bit of sparkle from certain angles when you look at it. But you want to keep going with this bit and add more splatters than what you think. To make it really cosmically awesome. We're on to the moon phases section, and I've got some really sophisticated piece of kit for this, which is a glass which you just draw around several times. First off, you want 6 circles altogether, but I'm just doing 4 at the minute, and you'll see I'm doing a waxing and a waning moon, and then also a half moon with these 4. And then with the other 2 circles, once I've cut these ones out, I'm going to use the waxing and the waning moons that you just see me do now with the glass as templates for the other 2, so that they match. You don't need to do that with the half moon, because obviously we're literally just gonna, you'll see me now, I'm just gonna draw that a line right down the middle, and when I cut that in half, you've automatically got 2. So you just need, for the waxing and the waning moons, to do another moon for each of those. And this, by the way, I forgot to mention, is on just a piece of chipboardy type stuff that I had lying around, and I'm using that because I want dimension on this canvas. I want the moons to be textured, and I want them to stand proudly off of the canvas. But it is a thick piece of board that I've got here, so as you can tell, I'm going through a few pairs of scissors because none of them like it very much. And here, as you can see, with this waxing moon, I am using that first piece that I cut as a template. So you want to make sure that they're even, or you might not, it's up to you, it depends how you want to do your moon phases. You could add literally just all of the different processes of the moon, just going one way, just going from a full moon to a new moon without going again in the opposite direction. As I have kind of gone through from start to finish. Actually, minus is the new moons now I think of it. I'm not actually got any new moons represented, and I've just put them down here on the canvas so you can see how they are going to go. And as I've done it, I've realised that the waning crescents, these little ones I've got here, are a little bit too big for the canvas, so I'm just going to slim them down a little bit to fit on the canvas how I want them to go. comes the texture. I'm going to use paper towels here. I've realised I wish I would have just used some recycled tissue paper, you know, that you get sent in parcels, because I think that would have given a much better moon texture. So take that piece of tip from me that's done with these paper towels, because I had to get rid of the pattern that's on the paper towels, and you do that by scrunching up. And also you'll see me stippling with the brush. I'm just using a decoupage medium here. You can use any type of wet glue you want, Mod Podge, or you know, any kind of wet glue. And I'm also going to be stippling, that you'll see me doing here, like, you know, stamping the brush down on the and also kind of crinkling the tissue paper up to make it seem more textured. But what the stippling does with this particular decoupage medium, which you'll see in a minute when I bring the moons up to the camera, it gives little pockets of air bubbles, and it makes it look like little moon craters up close, which is cool. And then you want to take a bigger piece and cover the whole thing, including the sides. You want to make sure you get the sides with the glue and with the paper as well. And you'll see why in a moment. This is particularly what I wanted to do with them. I wanted the sides, the whole thing covered. But I guess you could cut it off if you wanted to, but I just, you know, I wanted them to be little pieces in themselves that were complete. So I'm going to fold this over, as you'll see, so the whole of it is just encased in this lovely moon textured, you know, effect. And I was going to mention something that I've just forgotten. It's gone. Sorry, it's gone. So I'm just taking out any air pockets that you see on your underneath your tissue, because you're not going to want them. You're going to want it to be a nice solid piece. Oh, that's what I was going to say. You can see how these pieces, when you've created them, you can turn them into a garland, as I said at the beginning of this video. Another thing that I thought would be quite cool is if you've got a box, like a wooden box, or even a recycled, you know, gift box or something, a cardboard box, if you did this on the top of them, that'd be quite cool. So these have turned out pretty hard and crunchy and a nice solid pieces, so they'll make a great garland if you wanted to do it that way. I'm now taking some Payne's Grey and I'm just diluting it a little bit and turning it grey, because although I want these moons essentially white, I'm doing an underlay of grey because otherwise they'll be flat. So you want to add a couple of colours to your moons just to give it more of a moon effect. You know, you look at the sky and it isn't just one flat colour. When you look up at the moon, it has a lot going on there. So that's what I'm doing, and I've got a lot left over, so I'm doing the edges of the canvas. And I didn't do too many layers, I just did this colour, then you'll see me put on white, and then you'll see me put on a little touch of silver. I didn't do too much. You can go quite nuts if you want to and really make it very dimensional. Oh, and a quick trick if you want to get a nice edge is just to go over with your finger. Now I'm just gessoing the moons just to give them the white, and I'm using my fingers so that you can get into the nooks and crannies of the texture, so you can pick and choose which parts have. So you can't really see on this one, so I'm showing you. You see the craters? See the craters made with the glue? I love that. But yeah, using your finger I just find for this, for anything you want to highlight with texture, you can pick and choose where you want the effects to go. So finger painting is awesome. So you want to do this with all of your moons. I'll see, I've got a plethora of jewellery going on in this video because I had to wait for each of them to, each part of the process to dry. And now I'm going in with a dotting tool on the edges of my canvas with some silver. This is kind of a signature look for me at the moment. I'm doing this on all of my canvases. And a dotting tool, if you don't know, although they have appeared now in craft sections, this is actually a nail art tool. So if you can't find it in a craft section, just go into the nail art section, top tip. A lot of stuff I'm just going over with the silver on the moons now, by the way. A lot of stuff I used to have in my nail art stuff that from when I was like a teenager that crafting just didn't have in its, you know, arsenal years ago. Craft stores just didn't have them, like foils and things like that, which you can now get everywhere. I actually used to put in my nail art supplies in my craft stuff, and so I've got a lot of stuff from my old nail art days, which people now just buy from craft stores, which is cool. But so I'm going over with the gelato now to find the centre, because the gelato you can just kind of smudge out. Kind of, you can do it with chalk or you can do it with pencil if you want to rub that out. And it's tacky glue time. If you follow me for any length of time, you'll know that tacky glue is one of my favourite adhesives, particularly for something like this, where when you put it down, you're going to want it to stay forever and ever and ever. So I'm just finding that cross that I made with the gelato, and now I'm going to put down all of the pieces, because you want to make sure that it's in the centre, because actually although I put it down in the centre where I marked it, it wasn't exactly looking like it was directly in the centre, so you're going to see me fiddling about with it. But that is essentially the canvas. We're just going to stick them down now. And that's it. You can do some more if you want to. You can go over with a little bit of black if you want the moons to have a little bit more dimension, which I might do at some point. I don't know. I haven't decided on that one yet. But look how cute this would be on a box. Oh, yeah, love it. Or a garland, or the front of a journal would be pretty cool as well. So there's lots of things that you can do with these moon phases. And don't forget, you can always post your makes in our monthly challenge group, which I haven't really mentioned in this video, has gone by its 5th anniversary. So if you want to, you can get over 5 years of archived videos, projects, and just, you know, community makes and everything there. So go onto the group. Here are some of my favourites, just to tempt you, just a sneak peek at some of the makes we've done over the years. Loads and loads and loads is waiting for you in that group, so come over and join us. It's free. Hope you enjoyed this video of the moon phases canvas. If so, come and join us over on the monthly challenge group on Journal Workshops. It is free to join, and for those of you that say to me, Jenny Belly, you keep disappearing, that is the place where I am consistent. Sometimes it might be late, like now, but usually I do post something every month on the 1st in the monthly challenge group, and there's also the art swap group every month. Those are loud sirens. And in that group we create artwork and send it snail mail type across oceans and stuff, and that's a fun group if you want to be a part of that as well. So you can come and join those, because that's where the rest of them will be, but I just wanted to post this one on YouTube for you guys. Enjoy this challenge, have fun. Bye guys.